Hey everybody, this is Jenny McGarvey and I am planning in my 18-month Erin Condren Life Planner. And this week that I am planning out for myself and sharing with you is October 5th through October 11th. As you can see here, I am getting ready. I am gathering all of my supplies to share with you. I will be using a large quantity of stamps in this planner, or in this week, excuse me. A lot of them, the majority, 95% I would say, are Sweet Stamp Shop. And then I'll also be using stickers as well, both from Crystal and Company Plans and Libbie and Company. As you can see right there, that is my last week. That is the end of September, the early October, where you have the split from purple and gray to orange and brown. As you can see, I did do a little bit of decorative stamping, which is very new for me. I wanted to give it a go, and I tried that out last week. I used the Sweet Stamp Shop Fall into Christmas set, and I did really like how it turned out. It was super adorable. It was just a little bit, and I didn't go too crazy with it. So I hope to try it again this week, and you will see how that works out, and I will let you know my thoughts on that as well as we get started in planning this particular week. Now, as you can see right there, I've pulled out a Sweet Stamp Shop set, and that's what I'm going to use to decorate, not to do the essential planning. That set is retired, so you can no longer get that one anymore, unfortunately. However, you'll see how cute it is, and perhaps it'll keep you looking at the Sweet Stamp Shop sets so that you'll see which ones. Now, as you can see in that little container clutch carry-all thing, I keep my planner stickers in there that are bigger. Mostly my Libbie and Company ones are the ones that I reach for. And now I'm using the long flags. I put them down 4 or 5 days a week to notate when I need to pick my son up from high school basketball practice. I like having those there because it does change. If it were the same and I knew that I needed to pick him up every day at 5, then I honestly probably wouldn't do this. But because it changes every day, because he has a different activity for basketball every day, I do mark that down so that I can keep in mind, okay, today I need to pick him up at 4. Also, the adorable basketballs from Libbie and Company. I absolutely love them. I totally don't need to use them, but I like them so much, so I do. I added one green one because this particular week I'm going to work with a green and orange and purple color scheme, kind of working with Halloween. As you can see, I pulled out my little storage box that I keep all of my planner stamps in. I'm going to go through them and set aside the ones that I'm looking to use for this particular week, and then keep the ones in the box that I'm not going to use. That helps me sort of be able to keep the ones on hand. Since I do have a fairly large collection of them, I can keep the ones out that I do want to use and not get too terribly mixed up. I keep both my 2x6 and my 4x6 stamp sets in this box. At some point, I will absolutely outgrow this box and I will need to add another one, but for right now, it's absolutely perfect. As you can see, I have the Studio LTUE stamp set out, the one with the boxes that leave room for the little icons. I really like this one. It's simple, it's easy to use. It allows me to write events and appointments inside the box, yet use my cute little stickers and my cute little icon stamps as well. So it's not too terribly boring. It's also very fun and very cute. I am going to go ahead and start on Monday. That's how I usually work. Start Monday, go through Sunday. Sometimes I jump back and forth a little bit, and there's different reasons why. Now I used the middle one, and I'm going to do a little scrubbing icon so I can keep track of my cleaning for this week. I will also use the scrub word. Every other week is scrub. Every other week from that is cleaning. I don't always use this middle one only when I only have one activity to note. It takes up too much room. Otherwise, if I have more than one thing that I need to stamp, I will use the boxes that have the room for the icon on the sides. That way I can mix and match the icons and pair them up. I will show you that when I get to Tuesday. Otherwise, it's just too much room, and I love the way the center looks. It just doesn't work for my planning purposes when I have 3 or 4 activities that I need to note in that one section because of the way that I keep my planner organized. Now, as you can see, I'm filling in the pickup times and that is a pickup on those long flags using that Pilot permanent pen. And then I didn't actually write the time, only that I need to pick up. And so then I will go back later and fill in the times once I've looked at the calendar for basketball. Now, as you can see here, I'm stamping in those boxes like I had told you. I use the exact same stamp, I just turn it around, and then it leaves room on each side, the upper left and the lower right, to add a little icon. Now in the back pouch of my Erin Condren planner, I keep my Crystal & Company plans stickers. Most of them are small. There's a couple larger sheets and I keep those in the pocket of my planner. Otherwise, the small ones all go in that zipper pouch, and then I have them on hand at different times, even though I don't usually plan on the go, and I do usually plan a week at a time, but I still like having them handy and keeping them neat. Now I'm just using those stickers in place of stamp icons. I like changing it up. I could absolutely do it all the same, and I would probably love the neat and tidiness, but I also love changing it up too. So one soccer sticker, one baseball sticker, and I'm able to keep it cute and colorful without stamping that portion. Now I'm going to stamp my appointment on Wednesday, which is my son's baseball game, and I ordinarily use the small alarm clock from the Plan Every Day stamp set. However, it is currently missing in this. Don't worry, I later find it in the bottom of my blue little bin, which was awesome. I'm so glad I found it because it's really one of my favorites. I'm just going to stamp the little camera, and then I'm going to write the baseball game right next to it, and that's it. I don't do the same thing for every single day, just again to change it up and keep it different, though I definitely could with those boxes. They're really fun and they keep it really organized and neat, so I would definitely not hate it if I did that, but I just like to change it up a little bit. Why not? I always stamp this week in that little flag on the left side, and then for my assignments that I have, I note the company and then what I need to do for that particular assignment, just so I can keep it all straight and I can have it right down in a glance, and it's not cluttering up the boxes. And I don't know what else I would use the sidebar for anyway, so it works out perfectly. Now I'm starting to work also on the rest of the page. I'm going to stamp my top boxes with work. That's where I keep track of my assignments each week. The center section I stamp appointment because that's where I keep track of all of our different games, appointments, meetings, lunches with friends, that type of thing. And then the bottom section is always my to-dos. And you can see that I already started that. I put down one of the green heart sticker sets from Station Stickers. That's, I think, the only stamp. No, that's not true. I own two sticker sets from her, and I love them both. They're really fantastic, and I like to use them. However, I just don't always get around to it. So anyway, I already started that, and then I will fill in with other items, sometimes stamping, sometimes stickers. I just change it up. I like a varied look, though, like I said already, I don't always like a varied look, so you just never know with me. It's different from week to week. Now, I don't write a whole lot on Wednesday until I do fold the planner over. The coil gets in the way of my writing, so as you can see, I finally filled in that flag for Wednesday. Now I'm pulling a Libbie Company, these flag stickers that have the lines on it for my to-dos on Tuesday. I do usually stamp, I feel like, a lot for my to-dos, but then once I received those Crystal & Company stickers, then I bought some from Station Stickers, and then I bought those from Libbie Company, so I do find myself using stickers a little bit more for my to-dos. Now that brand new flag set from the September release for Sweet Stamp Shop has that great banner stamp, and I really like it a lot, and I love just putting one of each box with the flag. I said that last week as well. If I did every single one, I think it'd be too cluttered and crazy, but just doing one makes it fun and gives it just a different kind of feel. Now, of course, I messed up the one next to the coil because why wouldn't I mess up something next to the coil every single week? I don't learn. But with clear stamps, it makes it okay, and I can just go back and fix it. It's really not a big deal at all. It doesn't look bad or anything like that. Now I'm filling in some of the typical stickers at the top of this layout, my trash day, and then the late start day where I take my son to school. I don't need to put a trash sticker. I remember that Tuesdays is trash days, but I have them, so I might as well use them. It's not something I would ordinarily put down. Since I do keep my planner for things that I actually need to remember, I don't need to remember trash day, but not a big deal for someone else who wants to notate that. I'm just only speaking for myself. Now I am using the Check It Twice stamp set from Sweet Stamp Shop to do my to-dos for Wednesday, and that really fun orange Versacolor. I love it. It's super bright and super fun. And I'm not using the lines this week, just the icons. And I change that up all the time. Some weeks I use lines and icons. Sometimes I just use icons. I don't like to keep it stagnant. I like to change it because honestly, I learn a lot from keeping everything moving and fluid. Every week I learn something a little bit different. Now, unfortunately, you can't see the bottom. I don't have this pushed up far enough, but I'm placing the washi tape just right below the boxes above the lines, and I'm cut the edges with my X-Acto knife. And again, I have said this before, if you haven't watched, I only use an X-Acto knife because I'm sitting at my craft desk and I have one. Otherwise, I could totally use the ruler from my planner or a gift card or whatever I had on hand. You don't have to use an X-Acto knife. I just do because it's handy and that's all. Then I use from Plan to Eat, the Sweet Stamp Shop set. There's a little stamp that has a plate and then cutlery, and I use that to stamp for my dinner planning at the bottom on those little lines. And again, you could use a myriad of things. I just like this one. It's really cute, and it works out perfectly for what I notate at the bottom. I wish I could have shown that to you, but alas, it got cut off. Hopefully you'll forgive me. Anyway, so now we flipped over to the last half of the week, otherwise known as my favorite half of the week. I mean, because who doesn't love the weekend? And Thursday, really, you know, could be partially the weekend as well. Now I am pulling off some of my sticky notes and moving them around a little bit so that I can stamp the headings. So at the bottom I am doing to-dos, the middle I'll do appointments, and the top I will do work. And that is how I keep my 3 sections organized. I have been doing this for nearly a year now, which is crazy, and it still works famously for me. That's absolutely how my brain operates. I work in the mornings, I am with my kids in the afternoon after school, and then my to-dos work perfectly at the bottom because sometimes they are family or home related and sometimes they are work related. So this system just works brilliantly for me as opposed to breaking it up by parts of the day, because I wouldn't really have very many appointments in the morning. They would be work-oriented things anyway. The great thing about using Post-it notes to tentatively plan is that I can move them around when I am planning, or I can move them around when plans change. And so that's why this system really works well for me. I don't know if maybe a different system would work as well that I'll learn, but that's what's kind of cool about seeing what other people do in their planners, is that I find systems constantly that work for me or work for me for right now. Sometimes those might change, but that's what's really fun about the planner community, is that they're helping me learn better ways to stay organized all the time. Now, as you can see, I am still moving around my Post-it notes so I can plan each day effectively. And as you can see, that's where I keep my larger sheets of the Crystal & Company plan stickers in the back of my planner. Now I'm going to pull out one of those half box ombre stickers and place it down on Thursday appointments, but at first I'm going to cover up the appointment section, the header, but then I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to trim that and cut off one of the lines so that we only have 2 left, because I have 2 different engagements in the afternoon. And what's cool is that, like I said, I like to make it different all the time. Sometimes I use the stamps, sometimes I use the flags. Here I'm just using a half ombre box trimmed up. So it's just cool to have lots of different things in my planner. I like the way that it makes it a little bit more visually interesting. Maybe next week I won't want it to be like that. Maybe next week I'll do them all the same. I don't know. That's what's kind of cool with only planning 7 days at a time. Now I am pulling out some more stickers so I can finish up that Thursday to-do box. I like to have these stickers because honestly they're neat, they're orderly, they're tidy, and they keep me really super organized. And it seems to be honestly a really perfect amount of to-do items. That seems to be, I usually hit that number or one less or one more, and I feel really good about using those particular stickers for my needs, those in that section. Now these little speech bubble type ones from Libbie and Company, I don't use them very often because they're kind of big, but I really love how adorable they are, so they kind of work for me on certain days better than others. Now I'm using a Stays-On ink. Stays-On works well on glossy surfaces like the Libbie and Company. I'm re-inking the ink pad in this photo because it dries up for me on occasion and I need a little bit more ink, though of course I screw that up on here and make it ever so slightly too juicy, and so I smear my stamp a little bit, but it's okay, it doesn't really bother me that much, so it might bother someone else though. Now, the stamp is just a really fun way to dress up that sticker. You absolutely don't have to use stamps and stickers together, or you don't have to layer stickers or whatever the case may be, but I like to. I think it's fun and it makes them a little bit more interesting, and I absolutely love the icons from Sweet Stamp Shop, so I like to use those in my planner with my stickers, and I think it's really fun. It's definitely a learning curve though for me using that Stays-On ink on slippery surfaces because I'm not particularly careful. I'm just definitely a little bit more kind of go with the flow. Now I'm using a different icon to notate my volunteering from Plan School, that cute little globe. There's just not enough reasons to use that one, so when I get to, I absolutely love it. And then I'll just go ahead and write down my volunteering schedule. Now again, it's not necessarily something I have to do. I know I volunteer every Friday morning at 8 o'clock. It's really not a big deal. But adding it is really cute and really fun, and actually, lame me, sometimes I do forget these ongoing appointments, even if they are the same every single month. Now my to-do lists on Thursday, or just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they are kind of non-existent. So that's why you'll see that I did not fill in my to-do list for Friday. I usually do not put one in. Sometimes later in the week I'll add one if I need one, but I don't start out. Now I'm using the Libbie and Company little labels and my permanent pilot pen just to put down the appointments, which are a baseball game and a soccer game, and then the Crystal and Company plans, the little tiny stickers that just go on the edges of those, and they're so cute and they turn out really well, and I just really like how that looks together. But again, you don't have to layer the stickers and you don't have to layer stamps and stickers. You can simply leave them. You can do either stamps or stickers, and that's just it. The weekend banner's really cute. I have a stamp similar from Sweet Stamp Shop that I really enjoy, but sometimes I just like changing up and using these from Libbie and Company. Now, as you saw, I flipped forward to next week. As you'll see in the to-do box on Sundays, I put next week, and then I note any assignments that I have coming up next week. That helps me keep in the back of my mind things that I have coming up that are due, and sometimes for things that happen on Monday or Tuesday, I really need to accomplish this week. So knowing that I have it due the following week is super helpful for me, and this is one of the most important boxes in my planner, is this for next week. Now I'm going to use one of the eyeballs as a bullet point from that cute little monster set. I don't know, it's super random and kind of weird, and that's what I love about it. Since I'm going to decorate the layout with the monsters, I thought that it was fun to use the little eyeball as well. And then I just have one assignment due next week, so I just keep that one, and that works out perfectly with the decorating that I'm going to do with the monsters as well. Now, as you can see, I have out my bright orange ink pad again, and I love the color. It's crazy bright. It's almost bordering neon. It's a Versacolor ink pad, but I just love it. I'm using it at the bottom with the plate and the utensils like I told you about before from Plan Eat from Sweet Stamp Shop, and I love that little stamp. It's super cute, and I'm sorry that you can't see it. I wish that you could. Next time I will have to learn a little bit better to push my planner up a little bit further. I'm always trying to find the perfect balance of being able to stamp things and being able to see it, and also keeping it on camera. Now I'm using those flags again to notate just 3 different boxes on this particular page. There's no rhyme or reason. It's not because one's more important or not. It's really simply just what fits, what works, and I normally try to keep it away from the coil since I'm such a bad coil stamper, but it works better on the right side of the page than it does on the left side of the page, honestly. So now that I have finished that, I can put that away. And then really, honestly, the fun kind of starts now because I have most of the, busy, not the busy work, it's the, the important, the actual meat of the planning. I have that all finished. So now I can tidy up all of those stamp sets and really start to think about decorating, which is the fun part of the week. Now, as you can see, I'm using the monster stamp set, and I do stamp my monsters on the right hand side of the page, and then I do a little bit more stamping on the left side of the page. And while I'm stamping the monsters here, which are super adorable by the way, I'm going to say that I do think, comparing this week to last week, that I will continue to be a little lighter handed with decorating. I did not end up liking this week as well. I felt like it was too decorated and too busy for my personal taste. When I look at other people's, they are beautiful, but for my own personal planner, it's probably a little bit too much for me this week. However, the stuff is all really adorable, so it's not like I dislike it or anything like that. It's just not for me. So going forward, I will probably have a little bit less decoration. But I figure that's cool, right? Everybody's got their own style and the way that they do things. So now I'm breaking out the Crayola colored pencils just to color in the little monsters. As I've talked about before, I'm cool with using Crayola colored pencils. I do not need something fancy. I could absolutely go and buy a pricey set of colored pencils, but I absolutely don't need to. I have lots of other fantastic supplies since I am a crafter and have been for a very long time. I have Copic markers, I have all kinds of other great things. I don't need fancy pencils, and this is really just sheerly for fun, and I don't know if I'll even be doing it still next week. So if I bought more expensive colored pencils, I might feel a little bit like that wasn't necessary for me, but you certainly can if that is of interest to you. Now I'm just coloring in the monsters in the same color scheme that I've been using for this week, which is the purple, the orange, and the black and the green to denote Halloween, and keeping my monsters to the orange, green, and purple color scheme as well. I've mentioned before I color in a circular pattern. I find that that colors helps blend my colors together a little bit better. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's artistic or not. I just know for me the circular pattern seems to make it a little bit smoother and a little bit more well blended. Now you can see I have finished up my sweet little monsters. They look adorable and creepy and cute all at the same time on the lower right hand section of the week. That's on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And they are just fantastic. And I need to add the finishing touch, which is the washi tape along the bottom. That is a freckled fawn, I believe. It's black and white triangles, and I cut it with my craft knife. And then I am using a roll of Bella Boulevard orange and white striped washi tape for the top. It's actually more of a decorative tape. It's not really the same as washi. It's not like a paper tape. I mean, it is a paper tape, but it's not sheer like your traditional washi. I love the orange. It's bright, it's colorful, and I think it looks fantastic with the rest of the week, and it looks perfect. Now I will flip over. I'm going to still do a little bit more decorating over on the top left-hand section. As you can see, I don't have any work items up there, so I might as well go ahead and decorate, right? So I'm going to use the pumpkin from Fall into Christmas, and then I'm going to use the little round monster from the monster set. And it's kind of like he's trying to blend in with the little pumpkins or whatever. I think it's pretty funny, actually. However, like I said before, it is a little much for me in terms of decorating, but that's not something I need to say again, and it's totally personal. Now I am wiping off the little monster stamp with a baby wipe because I am finished with it. I can often wipe with baby wipes, or I just stamp off the extra ink on a piece of scratch paper. The one thing I will say about baby wipes is please make sure they're alcohol free. That'll help protect your stamps a little bit more. And then just wipe them off. You don't need to scrub them. You're more than likely not going to get all the ink off anyway. So just give them a wipe just to make sure you've got the excess so that it doesn't, make your colors mix next time or whatever. Don't go crazy, because that's how people rip stamps and they lose them and all kinds of stuff that way. So if you feel the need to wipe with a wipe, use alcohol free. Just give it a clean little swipe. Don't go crazy scrubbing it. A stained stamp is a loved stamp, and that's fantastic. Now I'm just coloring in the boxes for Tuesday. I don't know why I got the wild urge to do that. I suppose just because I was coloring in those pumpkins. I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes I color in the boxes, sometimes I don't. I change it up, like I said, about 500 different times. I don't usually keep things exactly the same. I like to do them a little bit differently. Now I'm going to pull out a set of Halloween stamps from Scraptastic Club that are from last year's kit, though this year's ones are very cute as well. And I'm just going to use a little cobweb stamp to put in the lower left-hand corner that you can't see here. And then I'm also going to use a little spider. With this cobweb, I'm going to use the smoky gray VersaFine. I love how it gives it sort of a less obvious look in that lower corner. It's really cute and nice and cobwebby, although you could have used a silver and it would have sort of given that gossamer shimmery effect too, and that would have been really cool. As you can see right there, I have that Scraptastic set laid out. They're always really cute and fun, and I love using them as well. I use those a lot in card making and in my scrap pick pages. Now I'm going to ink up the cute black spider and stamp him right there. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you enjoyed it and it was helpful. Please leave me a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know what you like to see, and it lets me know that you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much. Make it a great day.